And here's the first combination. You can already see that while purple is the star, we're not only talking about purple. There's some pink, there's some dark foliage, some blue at the bottom, and even some white. All of these are really working together to give you a great combination with purple as the star.
Yes, and it's actually the first really great combination right here. And one of the showstoppers here is the caterhell here that has a wonderful warm color here. It gets a really good height actually. I'm 182, so almost my height here. Gets quite bushy and really great for the insects. All the pollinators really like that one. And in front of that one, which is a little bit lower, also doesn't need any staking, is this new variety of Dauoy here. Really pretty burning hearts with the dark foliage, and this really like almost fiery orange is a great combination, great contrast also to the other perennials that has more kind of normal green foliage. Next to that one is a white Agastache here, which is also nice for the insects, very bushy, and has also a nice scent to the foliage. You can actually make tea out of it, which is great.
And how many of each of these, in case someone wanted to duplicate this, how many of each plant is planted here? What are we looking at?
Typically we plant them in uneven groups, like 3, 5, 7 in groups like that. It's really nice. Of course, some of them we added from a nursery, some we actually just divided because we have a lot of other older perennials where we just took a spade. Actually, this one has just been one we divided from a mother plant we have up in another flower bed. So this one is actually just, we divided it and placed it here in the early spring, and it has really blossomed a lot. This one is especially also what we look into is not only how they look right now, but also later on. This Agastache is really nice during the winter with the seed pods here. Very decorative. The insects of course go in now, but also birds will peck at the seeds. It is a great self-sower, so be aware if you will have a bunch of baby Agastache around here. But we don't mind that one there. Another one that's kind of in the front that we also just divided is the menstro down there. Super spiky, but I'm really surprised every time how the insects really love it. There's actually a bunch of bee in there in the back, and they don't get stung. Crazy enough, but really a nice contrast. Also, again, with the foliage. And what we have right in front is another Agastache here, also super magnet for insects. Look at all the bees here. This is a black adder, also very strong in scented foliage here as well. We also have blue fortune in another group here, but that one is also really nice. Planted in a group of 3. Sometimes, depending on what kind of perennial it is, you could just do 3. This one I wouldn't do in 5 because then you get big volume. Depending on what you want to establish or what you want to have in your flower bed, what needs to be more. But it's kind of 3 is a perfect amount here, and eventually we might divide a little bit in some empty spots. But it's a great combination here. And in the back it's not so tall because we moved it actually from another flower bed. But Vagins Ehrenpreis normally get a little bit higher, so we kind of have, you can walk around this flower bed, so you want to have also something to look at from the other side. So that taken in mind, we need to see flowers from all angles. There's actually also a bit of yellow here under, but that hasn't grown so much. Yellow rudbeckia here and a white spore ballion, but it's a really nice contrast with this. Of course, this is kind of the star of the show, the purples here, but it's nice to have it in a mix with other ones as well.
And it's nice that it's not just all purple, that you can really have these different levels, the blue, the pinkish purple, this dark foliage, really all working together.
So the second great combination right here in the front of the flower bed, and also nice that spreads, is the geranium roseanne here. Kind of, if you look away just for a second, it kind of just grows a little bit in some of the other ones, which I don't mind. It gets a really natural kind of look, but it's easy to trim back a little bit. Very small in early spring, but then once summer comes, heat, it really explodes. And it's a great ground cover plant. and also loved by the insect. Right next to that one we also have a Brunera here, Jack Frost, which had blue flowers in early spring, but then now also just the foliage is really nice, in a nice contrast to the ones that flower. So we also do look at foliage, not only the flower, when it comes to a new flower bed here. And behind that one we have the Lythrum here with really a nice purple, and that one the bees also really love that one. Funny is that it actually flowers from the top and then goes all the way down compared to some of the other perennials. We have some perennial grasses here, also to give some texture, and another funny one, like a light baby pink almost, is a Torskemund. Also, it's about to be finished, has a bunch of seed pods, and it's really great at self-sowing as well. But it has that really nice, almost looks like a Christmas tree, the foliage. So it's also really nice in next to the other one, a little bit lower, and it's kind of just spiky. We're leaving that for now. In the back we have some lupins here, two-toned. Both we have some dark yellow with the itty bitty whites, but the flower stems, the spears are really nice.
Yeah, and purple.
Actually, yeah, the purple and white, sorry, and actually also some little yellow as well. Next to it, one of my favorite ones is the Bampton, Verbena Bampton here. Really a compact compared to the big sister, I would say, the normal Verbena, which is also in our areas here in Denmark, can disappear in cold winters. This one is a perennial, and it's more compact, and the flowers is also different, but the foliage, even when it's not flowering, it's really almost black, which is really nice. Also self-sows a lot, but it's easy to move away. But also such a really great combination here, close to the corner when you come around to the flower bed.
And it's that dark foliage. Yes, the flowers are purple, but it's that dark foliage that really makes it work together.
That's true.
The same thing with this perennial grass. Here at the ends, it also has a darker color. You know, it's not like it's a bright lime green.
No, but then also because then it also very decorative during the winter time. So we really have something to look at throughout the whole season, like with the Prunera in the beginning, then later on all the different perennials that flower throughout the whole season. So you really want to have a pop of color throughout a whole gardening season.
Yeah, and it's great about thinking about that purple, not just in purples, but in light blues, dark foliage, things like that. And speaking of dark foliage, look at this one.
This Astilbe called Dark Side of the Moon, and I wish it was flowering, but not yet. But it will turn from light pink to almost dark purple. So I'm super excited to see that one, and just for the foliage sake, it's really nice. And it's a nice combination here with the Kransalvie. Also, the bees are just going super crazy in this one. The kind of hairy, the foliage here, and we sometimes need to do a little bit of staking once they get a little bit bigger. This is just the first year, so next year we have to do it with bamboo sticks or a little bit of netting that you won't even see then. But it's really a nice one, and the purple is also really pretty, and it flowers for a very long time. Together in this area we also have some fingerbølrørblomst that has a white one here, and again foliage is just a main key throughout. You will see it everywhere in this flower bed. Also so dark, the foliage, and then there gets this a big contrast, this white flower here, and even the finished the seed pods here, very decorative as well. And in the front it's not so big, but just close to the border and also great for insects is the Allium Millennium here, which also over time the goal is, since it's a new one, we do not want to show too much bare ground because that means you'll get a lot of weeds. So the goal is here in autumn, I'm going to actually take a spade, and then you can make easily out of this group here around 4 to 5 new clumps, and then I'll the goal is here that all this area then will be, so it's not like boom, one plant, as I mentioned earlier up there where you have 3 or 5. So definitely I want to divide that, so I'll have a group of, I would even say 7 here under the different kind of perennial grasses here. So this will just be full of allium and such a pop of color now. And these ones are also very nice during autumn, winter time to give some decorative with the seed pods.
Here's a really great combination. A lot of color. Well, I say a lot of color. A lot of shades of purple packed into one nice, impressive corner here.
And here right at the other entrance to this flower bed is Russis salvie, and here we have planted, maybe you can see it under here, but in a group of 3, because eventually this will really just grow into just one big plant here. So we planted that in 3s, and behind that one we have again the Bina Bampton, and again we wanted to cover a big group because it is one of my favorites, so again planted that in 3s. And we have the Toscamon again that we mentioned earlier with this pink. And then tucked away a little bit in here is the Liatris. And then the big bush, the tower off here, the Catahala again, that really gives a great combination here. And if we go run a little bit further, back here is again the Dauoye. And here we have actually planted it, funny enough, in 5s, because this doesn't, it's not a perennial that overgrows really easily. So this one is, we actually just put here because we want it in a bigger group.
And then there's the other ones. Then you also have some whites that are really breaking it up back here in the back.
Yeah, the Sporebellion here. And also that having some white here in between also gives really a pop of color. It's great. This Sporebellion is great at self-sowing, and I don't mind having that a little bit more. We do have still, since it's quite a new flower bed, so we have some empty spots, and we're definitely going to divide here in autumn and then going to place in those empty spots.
But it's also impressive that this is just one season. All of these plants, yes, most of them were purchased.
Some of them were purchased. Yeah, most of them in this flower bed was purchased.
So they were purchased as small pots. They weren't purchased at this actual
and the
size.
pots came small like that.
So that's really important to know. And already just in one season. Yeah. When were these planted, Lars? April, May?
Back in April, May, yeah, I would say. So it has really, yeah, I got so surprised just after like some periods not being in this flower bed, how it's just really done well. And we have in the early spring also we have the stepping stones, and then we have creeping thyme that's of course give color or makes like a natural look here on the stepping stones. But then what I also like is that it grows kind of in on the stone, and then in early spring it's just a blanket of like light, almost dark purple color here. So that even the path has different kind of periods in the growing season where it's gonna change. So that looks really well also.
This flower bed has so much to see and so much in purple. Take this Scabiosa for example, really nice, low ground cover, flowers for months, especially if you deadhead. I know that in this garden they're a little bit busy with how massive it actually is. But at home, we just deadhead, we pop those guys off, boop, and it just keeps on flowering. But
thanks, that was a hint to me,
yeah,
I guess.
Sorry, maybe deadhead.
You can come.
We want to show you some more honorable mentions that really hit that purple color scheme, like the Scabiosa.
Yeah. We have the Scabiosa, and then also another third Agastache Blue Fortune. We have a little white Kveswort here. We have Echinacea here, which is also a nice contrast, together with the Jordetrust. That's a very late flowering perennial and gives a really nice color. This variety is very bushy, doesn't get too, you can also get varieties that's much taller, like over 2 meters. But this one is great for the insects and just starts to flower now.
Exactly, and even though it's not purple, it still really looks nice, right next to these delphiniums.
The delphinium, which is really tall, some of them are putting in seeds, some are still coming. We have some sedums in the back that's also coming, not yet. And we have here the Violfrøstjerne here, also really, really nice. Maybe you can see it, Alan.
Let me get over there.
Where they start kind of like small bells in the beginning, and then they open up here, which is really nice. And this one is really important because otherwise you need staking. Having this we planted in a group of 5, so it kind of like connects, because it gets a little windy, it had fallen a little bit, but the bigger you plant a group you plant it in, then it kind of supports the plant by itself, and then you don't need to stake it otherwise, because by next year it will even be taller. So the goal is that they kind of just intertwine with each other.
We'll let the bees get back to their business, and we'll say thank you for joining us as we take a look at some of these plant combinations of these perennials, especially here with the purples, the pinks, the blues, even the whites, things that we think look really nice together. They give you that sense of calm, that sense of elegance. And we often get a lot of questions because we grow a lot of yellow, but not everybody really goes crazy for yellow.
No.
But purples and blues, you just can't go wrong. So we thought today we'd show you a little bit of that and maybe help you be inspired for your own garden space.
Yes, so thank you so much for watching. Moin!